I'm just gonna wait for some people to join up, and then I'm gonna do my real live video of demo of the Gemini Crafter's Companion cutter. I did a little quick demo earlier. It was like my very first test run. It was not perfect, but I think that was partly my fault. So I'm gonna do a demo of this really cool machine. I got it last week in the mail, and this is the first chance, because it's Mother's Day, I'm getting time to myself as a gift. So I'm in here in my sewing room, and I'm going to test out this really cool machine. I just unpacked it today. I've been reading through the instructions. It's pretty versatile. It cuts fabric, and it also embosses things, other materials. I'm assuming paper, but maybe other materials too. I don't know. It seems pretty cool. I'll show you what the machine looks like. It's not too big. It's electric, so you have to plug it in. It's heavy, but it's not big. So it doesn't take up a lot of space, and I could easily store it somewhere if I don't want to have it on my desk. This is it. So like the size of a little printer, maybe. And this is where you feed everything through this little slot here. I'm going to set it back down. I'm going to turn it on. It's on now. It's ready to go. I'm going to set it down, and I will move my camera so you can actually see the machine and how it works. So it comes with really cool little dies. So for a while now, I have been using, I'll admit, I use an AccuQuilt die cutter for a lot of my triangles and a lot of my patterns. I do love the AccuQuilt. Big fan of it. Cuts through like up to 6 layers of fabric, and I can cut a ton of triangles in no time. This seems to be the same type of thing, although this one's electric. My AccuQuilt, I have a Go, so it's not the studio model, it's the model where you have to hand crank everything through, which is still pretty easy. This one is electric, and you can cut different shapes all at the same time. So that's the cool thing with this machine. So one of the sets that comes with the Gemini, or I think you have to, I don't know if it comes with it, you might have to buy the set on its own, is the Build-A-Block set. And it comes in this case. And this case has these great little drawers. And there's one drawer full of squares, one of half square triangles, and one of quarter square triangles. These are the half square triangles. So here's the half square triangle set. This is your little guide, so that, and it's got the size of each one on this guide, so that when you pull this off, this will cover off. Here are the actual dies. They're all nested nicely into this case. And then you just pop out the one that you need. Like, that's the die. It's not super sharp. It's like, apparently, like, the machine puts so much pressure between all the layers that this will cut through up to, I just discovered, 8 layers of fabric, which is pretty fantastic. I tried 12, it didn't quite do it, but 8 seems to be the magic number. So you just pull out the sizes that you need and set them on your fabrics, and I'll show you how you do that. And then you feed it through the machine and it cuts all the pieces for you. Pretty cool. So let's put that back together. I do love this little box set. Like, it's nice because then it keeps everything all in one place. You don't have a whole bunch of dies to like store. It all just goes together like this. Easy. This is the one that has all half square triangles, quarter square triangles, and squares, and it makes like a bazillion different blocks. They also have some other die sets. They sent me these two. I'll show them to you. They sent me this one, which is like a drunkard's path set. And on the back it shows you all the different shapes and in various sizes as well. So that's really cool. And then this other one is, what is it called? Winding Ways. And it makes all of these blocks. It's got some examples of blocks down here. So pretty cool. I haven't tried these ones yet. I'm just been playing with the half square triangles because you know me, that's what I love. All right, so I'm going to show you what I've done here. I've pre-prepped my fabric. So I did iron my fabric and I did cut it down into sizes that will fit through the machine and will reduce the amount of waste that I'm going to end up with. Okay, so for the larger, oh wait, I'm going to show you which block I'm going to make, and I'm going to cut out enough triangles to make 4 of these blocks. Okay, so this is the other cool thing that comes with it. Comes with this little Build-A-Block booklet. And in the booklet, it gives you a few different blocks you can make and which shapes and sizes you need to make those blocks. And then I think they even have more suggestions online. So I'm going to do this Dutchman's puzzle, which is like flying geese. See, it's like 2, 4, 6, 8 flying geese in one block, but I'm going to cut enough to make 4 of those blocks. Okay, it's going to take a few runs, but we'll see like how long does it take to cut that much fabric. So I'm going to do the 8-inch blocks. You can go as small as 4-inch blocks, but then you're cutting like 1.5-inch triangles, and I don't feel like going that small today, so we'll do 8-inch finished block. So I need a 1/4 square triangle and a 1/2 square triangle. I've already pulled those out of their little sets. This is the 1/2 square triangle. And then this one is the 1/4 square triangle. Cool. Okay. All right, I'm going to reposition my camera so you can see what I'm doing. Let's see. Make it so you can see everything. And I'll move the machine. I'll move the machine closer when I've got everything set up. So I start with a plate, a clear plate. I'm going to set that down. Then I need this metal plate. Metal! I'm going to set that one on top. I've already used it once. You can see I've got some shapes pushed in there. That's normal. Then I'm going to cut 2 different fabrics at once because I want smaller triangles out of this Allison glass kaleidoscope, and then I want the larger triangles out of these. So what I've done is I've taken like a piece of fabric about this big for my larger triangles, and I've just pre-folded it enough times so that I'm going to be able to cut 8 triangles out at once. So I just did this like this. Okay, so I'm going to set that there, and I need my larger triangle, and there's like a tiny edge, it's not super sharp, but an edge along here. That edge goes face down onto the fabric because it's going to cut the fabric, and then there's this flat edge that faces up. So I'll set that one there. I'm nervous, you guys. I'll set that there. All right. And then I've got the Allison glass, which is going to be my background fabric. I've got these little guys pre-folded so that I will get 8 layers. So this will be interesting because this is a slightly different substrate than the cotton. So it'll be interesting to see if they both cut okay, or if this one's a little bit more finicky because it's more of a woven. I don't know. We'll find out. So I'm going to set that one down. And I can put, oh, is this going to fit? Libsy, cutting it close. I'm going to set that there. Okay, now I've got those lined up. They're ready to go. I'm going to take this plastic sheet. I guess they get sort of funny. I'm going to set that one on top. And then next I'm going to set my clear plate on top of that. And then that's my sandwich. And it depends what you're cutting or what you're embossing. There are different shims and different layers that you have to put together to make your sandwich, and that's all outlined in the little guidebook. It tells you like which things go where, what the order is, because it's different depending on whether you're cutting paper or fabrics or embossing. Okay, man, this is pretty thick. I don't want to move the machine so you can see it. So there's the machine. Now I'm going to put it through, and it makes a sound. We're not supposed to be surprised or nervous when it makes the sound. All right, everything looks good. Here we go. Oh, there it goes. You guys, it's coming out the other end. Okay, let's see what happened. All right. That sounded intense. Okay, let's see if we got through all 8 layers of fabric. I don't know. Can you see? Okay, we're going to take this off. We're going to take this off. Oh man, I think it worked. I think. Maybe not. Maybe almost all the way through. Oh my god, it did. It cut all the way through all 8 layers. Take this out. This one, I think there's like one little... This happens on my AccuQuilt sometimes too, where you get like 1 or 2 little threads that didn't cut. But look at all those did. I'm just going to take my scissors and just clip those. That's pretty impressive, you guys. Wow. Okay, so now I got 8 of those. Amazing. So there's my 8 quarter square triangles. Set those in my pile. And then let's see how it did with the Allison glass. Oh, like easy peasy. No big deal at all. Amazing. So there's 8 layers of that one. Perfect half square triangles. The cool thing about this too is it includes, all of these include the seam allowance, and they've already dogged the points for you. So when you're sewing this, you start at this point here, and you sew do along here, and then when you iron it open, you don't have to trim those little points that are usually end up on your half square triangles. They're already done. They're taken care of. So that's super cool. Okay, so like boom, actually for that drunkard's what's it called? Drunkard's puzzle? No, not drunkard's puzzle. Dutchman's puzzle. For the Dutchman's puzzle, I need to have I need these 8. That makes up my flying geese. And then I need 16 of these, but I've cut 8, so I could just put through the next round and cut the next round of the other 8 of those, and that'll make up one block. So I'm going to do that super fast. But while I do that, I might as well cut my next inside. So I'm going to make sure these are the right order again. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to cut all pieces that I need to make 4 of these blocks. Okay, so I got that. And which would go better, because I'm also using this light one. That looks pretty with that one. And that looks pretty with that one. So I'm using Allison Solids with my Tattooed North prints, but I'm going to use 2 different backgrounds. So I've got like a light blue and a darker blue. So maybe I'll do this one next. So this one's got this pretty, can you see it? Gold needles, like pine needles. So I'll set that on here. I'm going to set my triangle on here. The other thing I should point out, which I did in the earlier video that I posted, is that I'm not being super careful with the amount of fabric I'm wasting. Well, you know what? I did. With this one, look at, there's very little waste on this one. And I could open this up and I've got these little pieces as waste, and that's not too bad. I could always keep those as scrap and use them for something else. But you can, that's why I pre-cut my strips and use as little extra as possible so that I'm not like wasting these ones. I just cut big chunks out of the middle. That was a little bit wasteful of me. You can trim your fabric down a little more before you before you die cut it so that you're not wasting a ton of it. All right, so I'm going to do that one. I'm going to reposition this again so you can see what I'm doing. I'm putting down my plastic sheet and then my clear sheet. Move my scissors over here. Move the machine back up here again. Okay. So everything's pretty lined up. I got my little sandwich. Here we go. This machine is called the Gemini. It's by Crafter's Companion. And it's also used, you can also use it for embossing paper and other materials. So I guess one of the funny things that happens as you use this is that your plates get sort of wonky, but they say just keep using them, like they're good for lots of uses. Like they get marked up. That's just part of the wear and tear, but it doesn't affect the final product. Yeah, man, look at that. Another 8 of these. And this one cut almost perfectly. One little thread there. Holy, like another 8 of those. So I'm cutting 8 layers at a time. When I use my AccuQuilt, my Go Cutter, I cut a maximum of 6 layers. Sometimes I push it to 8, but it can make the shapes a little wonky. So this is pretty cool. There are size limitations, obviously, because the machine is only this wide. But that's pretty good. I mean, you could still cut. What is the biggest size? Where did I put the box? What's the biggest size of the half square triangle here? Let's see. One of my half square triangles. The largest one is 6.5 inch, so that's a 6-inch finished block. So that's pretty good. I do cut larger blocks on my AccuQuilt, like 8.5 to 9-inch blocks, but this is still pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to do another one. Here we go. Okay. So this time I'm just going to flip the plates, because you're supposed to sort of flip them in different directions as you use them, so they're not getting worn in the same spots over and over. So I got my clear plate, my metal plate. I'll cut this one this time. And I'm doing this in a large half square triangle. No, not half square triangle. This is a quarter square triangle. And then I'm going to put this down. 2, 3. And put the little half square triangle on here. I'm going to put my plastic plate on here, and I'm going to set it this way this time. And my clear plate on top as my sandwich. That feels like super. Oh, I think it's just. Why does that feel weird? Okay, here we go. And then you just have to feed the end into the machine, and then it grips on and pulls it through itself. So, come on, little buddy. And apparently it does make these sort of cracking and popping sounds, and that's just part of the process, because it's putting so much pressure on all these plates to cut through the fabric that it makes sound when it works. It's working. Okay. Let's see if that one worked. Take this off, take this off. Again, perfect little half square triangles, 8 of them. And Wait, I want 1, 2. That's 2. And then another 8 quarter square triangles out of this one. Amazing. Man, and then I'm on my last one here for the large size. So I'm going to just do this again. So this, and then the large one, and we're putting the sharpish side face down onto the fabric, and then I'm going to do one of these. This is a different color. No, wait, I'm going to do one of these. Never mind. I'm not going to do another color. I'm going to do this color, this, and this. So what I'm doing with these strips is folding it over and folding it over again so that I've got 8 layers. I'm going to set it down here, put it on here. So I think this machine would be pretty handy for, you know, you could take this to a retreat if it wasn't too far, like if you were driving, because the machine itself is pretty heavy. The Go Cutter is heavy too, but it's got a handle and it just folds up. This is a bit heavier, but if you were going to a retreat or a workshop and you were driving, you could definitely pack all this stuff up and take it with you. It's nice and compact. Exciting, exciting! I wonder if I'll actually get to sew this stuff today. That would be good. Yeah, babies. Alright. That's what it looks like. It's like nice and little and heavy. It's no heavier than a sewing machine. Gives us a good workout. Alright, and there you go. So I can take the die off. And I've cut all my pieces. It's just like, there. Man. Done. So that's another 8 of those. And 8 of these. So cool, right? So those are 2 sets. So I might do those with that one. That with that one. And then, so there's a whole block to make a Dutchman's puzzle. There's all the pieces to make another one. So I've got 2 full blocks cut. And then these other 2 blocks I've got all the large triangles cut, and I just have to cut 4 rounds of this color, and then I will have enough pieces cut to make 4 of those 8-inch blocks. That's pretty quick. What have I been talking for, like, how long? 5 minutes? Okay, maybe 7 minutes. Whatever. I'm just gonna keep going. You guys are keeping me company. How's everyone's Mother's Day? Nice, lovely. Okay, we're gonna cut this color, this one like this like this, and this is easy. And then we're just gonna squeeze it through here. The first time I saw one of these cutters was last fall at Quilt Market in Houston, and they gave me a demo, and I was like, that looks cool. Yeah, I would totally want to try one of those. That would really come in handy. So I'm sure that they'll be at Quilt Market again this coming week. And if you see them, let them know that you saw me doing a demo of this, because I'm sure they'll appreciate that I'm using this awesome tool. I'm going to do another one. Put this here. And through. This is super easy and super fun, and look at, I'm not hurting my wrists, which is great because my wrists are totally messed up from using rotary cutters and just from sewing in general. So anytime I can save my wrists and my fingers and hands, it's a blessing, because I find, I don't know if I've got arthritis or carpal tunnel, but it's not fun. Okay, so I got just 2 more rounds to go of these little blue ones, and then I'll be done. Then I'll have like enough to make 4 of these blocks. And I'm going to flip this around this way this time. This is the only thing that I'm finding kind of weird, is every time I use this, the plate has gotten warped, but they say that's normal, and maybe it'll kind of soften up too after I've used it a bunch. Maybe I should just also position this differently to help break it in. Okay. Yeah, it'll be fine. You just have to hold everything together till you get it into the little exciting. Look at here it goes. Coming out the other end. Neat. Okay, last round and then I'll be all done. I guess it would be a bonus to have like more than one of each shape to make it even faster, but it's not bad. It's not bad as is. I'll put this one down here. Oh man, Libsy, I cut this one like just wide enough to make this half square triangle. Put this one here and this one here. Okay. Make sure. Okay. And whoa. All right, cool. Done. Wow, I cut that one super, like that's my scrap. That's the leftovers for that one. That's not super wasteful at all. A lot of people say that die cutters are wasteful. Not if you're careful about how you prep your fabric going into it. Which is the same case for any die cutter. Okay, cool. That's it. So now I can just set my plates aside. I got my machine. I can turn my machine off. It's easy. Oh, there's also, I should mention, I haven't had to try it yet, but there's a pause button if you have to stop what you're doing, and then stop and start, and then there's like a little rewind. So if you've put the plate in and you need to get it back out again, there's a little rewind button to like feed the plate back out towards you if you need that. So that's the Gemini by Crafter's Companion. Super cute, super handy and strong. And now I've cut 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've cut enough to make 4 blocks of this this cool, where did I put it? This one, the Dutchman's Puzzle. I'm gonna make 4 of those. And it took me like 10 minutes, including talking time, to cut enough. So that's really rad. I'm gonna save this on Instagram, and then I'm gonna download it, and I'll also post it on my Patreon page, patreon.com/LibsElliott, so that If you ever want to go and watch this video again, it'll be a blog post to the general public. You don't have to be a subscriber. Yeah, that was fun. Now I'm going to sew these, okay? So I won't bore you with that little bit, but that was cool. Gemini, Crafter's Companion. Look it up. I'll be honest, I don't know how much all of this costs, but I'm sure it's worth it. Fun stuff. Thanks for hanging out with me. Happy Sunday. I'll see you guys on the flip side.